superior on. But Boom Esports, I feel like they have a great team comp. They have got a very strong front line. They've got the Kaiser, they've got the Liempo, and then we've seen it quite often where having that strong front line only enhances the Charlotte's playstyle in these team fights, and her being so aggressive, fast attacks, being able to dash out of team fights, being able to dash in, kind of pick off that back line, which you're going to try and hope for with the likes of the Loon on the side of Weibo Gaming.
Yeah, for sure. We're seeing the Lady Shen being picked up as well, still in the mid lane, even though we saw that there was a couple of nerfs to Lady Shen a couple of weeks ago. Still, players prioritizing this pick in the mid lane. Just shows how much presence she has in terms of wave clear, in terms of crowd control. She also can use her first ability on herself to become invulnerable. So there's so many ways in which Lady Shen can set up the team incredibly well. As you mentioned, you know, the setup is super important for the likes of Charlotte and even Ali as well. But already Boom Esports looking to play aggressive. This is exactly what they were doing against the KPL Dream Team, and it backfired. But can they do something this time around?
No, it looks like Kong Ling is still into the thick of it with that Dune pick. He's able to sponge damage even at such a low level, but he's able to actually give out a lot of base attack damage at that early game. But no kills been taken here. We see a flash go over for Impressive, playing a little bit too aggressive because Toshi was seen in the middle part of that lane, so no way for Toshi to get in there and try and take on JD.
I think it's worth the trade in terms of flashes because you actually burn the flash of JD, and Long is a hero that can be very immobile before the ultimate comes through. So maybe Impressive just playing super aggressive. You know, again, we talk about that SEA showdown match. Impressive with a crazy performance on that Liempo, so Boom Esports definitely going for a lot of comfort. But I feel like with a hero like Long, you kind of want to burn that extra mobility in the early game, and maybe you can catch them out like they're trying to do here at the moment. But the extra damage is coming back onto Toshi, and the first blood might be going on to Long. In the end, it is JD with the first blood on Long. No flash, no problem for JD, but he's trying to get traded back here for Impressive. Really nice knockback by JD, and he's going for one more kill. Can it get traded? It can. JD on Long, 2 kills in the early game, and if there's any hero that you don't want to give kills over to, it's definitely the Long.
Yes, it's long overdue. The kills coming through in that game. We are up into the 2 minutes, almost 3 minute marks here. Boom, Jixix is looking a little bit scarce here. We get the knockup from the Dune, but they aren't able to get that little bit of poke that they needed from the Hino there. We see that Impressive is trying to stop the takedown of this red buff, but we see that the Golem goes, the Crimson Golem, sorry, goes over to Dune. So still a successful invade in that jungle. Didn't quite able to get the kill onto the Kaiser, but able to take some of his farm.
Yeah, we're seeing the picture at the bottom of the screens as well. Charlotte going head-to-head with the Dharma at the moment. Both of these players extremely well. Such a super skilled matchup, I feel like, in the Clash lane. You know, both Dharma and Charlotte have so much playmaking potential. You know, during the laning phase, this is a pretty even matchup. It's all about the skill of these two players. At the moment, so far, Miggy is actually one that had to burn the flash early on. Gu Yi still has the flash on the Dharma, so he can still try and set up plays with his ultimate as we take a look at this replay.
Yeah, so all that power, all that damage coming from JD there, but we're not going to be seeing that replay for much longer because Impressive does get taken down for going a little bit too overstepping into the farm lane with such little health. Migi also obviously fell in the Clash lane as well, so again, we are seeing 3 kills up to 0 on the side of Boom Esports. First Tyrant going over to Weibo Gaming. They are not messing around, Stu. We are getting into the 4th minute. Tyrant taken, 3 kills up, and almost that 2.4k gold difference. And it looks like they're not stopping here.
For sure. I mean, this is a team that is also from Malaysia. We have 3 Malaysian teams here in the Invitational Midseason, and this is just showing how strong the country is and the region is in general, right? We know the power of LGD. We know the power of Team Secret. Weibo was the big question mark that we had coming into this. They did play that last chance qualifier against the teams the likes of Tribe Gaming and Virtus Pro, and they were able to wash out every single team there. But we were kind of questioning ourselves coming into this, like, have they actually had the testing? Have they had the right scrims to come into a bigger competition like the Esports World Cup. And it seems like they are doing incredibly well as the engage coming through from Liampo.
Yep, impressive engage there from Liampo. We get the kill onto Dragon as well. That's currently a 1-1 trade. We see that Heido is able to take down Lee and Po, so it is still all to play for. There we go. There is so much damage. 3-0. No, 3-1 trade, sorry, onto the side of Weibo Gaming, looking to freeze this Vanguard from trying to take any minions in that mid lane. And this could mean that JD's able to take this T1 now that the armor plating's taken off as well. Not quite as Boom Ejix and Toshi gets through, though.
I mean, watching someone play Dharma as well as Guyi's playing it at the moment, like, incredible. You can see the flashy plays that Dharma can create. You can see the setup that Dharma has as well with the ultimate, being able to knock players into the wall. When you see a good Dharma, when I see a good Dharma, I'm just like, wow, this is like the perfect way to play Honor of Kings. The invade might have been going a little bit too far here for Dune. Just getting knocked up a little bit there from Liam Po. You're seeing the crowd control there. So a little bit of mistake there from Kong Ling in the jungle. But as I mentioned, Dharma, haven't really seen too much of him being played today. He's been a lot of the Byron, a lot of the Elaine as well. But Dharma again, even 2 versus 1 against Yali, still going in. And we have a pause. We have to wait and see what happens with that. But yeah, going back to my Dharma point, right? We haven't seen too much of Dharma today, but I think as a hero in general, super flashy hero to play in the Clash lane, it requires so much skill, but if you're able to perform super well, then you're able to make these crazy plays at the end.
I mean, we say we haven't seen Dharma so much, but the last team that we saw play Dharma was Team Vitality. We know how that went for them against VKS, so it's clearly something that some of these teams have been practicing the Dharma. It's a pick that we like to see come through, especially on those players that can make the flashy play style of Dharma really shine through, like you were saying, Stu, being able to link his ultimate, bashing people into walls, getting the CC, and then just either allowing Dharma to get the kills or allowing somebody like JD on the lung just to kind of clean up and get some more gold into its pocket. But yes, currently on the pause there. Right now, it's looking like Weibo are playing very aggressive in this game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're definitely bringing out the aggression. They definitely feel like they've had the practice, you know, if we go back to the draft as well, in terms of the bans, in terms of the picks as well, you know, realizing that they're playing against Boom Esports. They don't want to give the likes of Athena away, and going into the game as well, Weibo Gaming at the moment playing incredibly well. Long, again, we know how strong this hero is. You know, me and you were watching the games from the KPL, and, you know, likes of KPL players playing Long because it's been out in China for such a long time. And we thought to ourselves, you know, how are these players going to adapt to these new heroes that they maybe haven't played for so long? But you're seeing the even with the little practice time that they have on these heroes, they can still perform incredibly well. You know, you can see the KDAs on the screen as well. You know, 2-0-3 at the moment for JD on Long. And as I said, you know, you don't want to give Long early kills, you know, especially against an Ali, and we know how much burst damage this hero can do as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, sometimes you think you escape, but thanks to his passive, just having that second hit within the range as well, you think you get out of there, but then that just comes around and just slaps you. But back onto the point about us thinking that Lung wasn't actually going to get picked up within the mid-season invitational, just kind of like Luara, because when that hero came through, we was hoping that the next tournament was going to see some Luara come through, and we was probably thinking, if it weren't for having the intel on the KPL teams, that maybe Lunga would have that same treatment, because like you were saying, some people still prefer to go for the early stew, and again, it could be down to comfort or the fact that you know it's going to be not a guaranteed victory, but it's definitely going to aid you in the late game with the hero Harley.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you can see that also the Long being paired up with the Dolia. I think we're going to be seeing it a little bit later on in this game once the pause comes on through. But that giving the ultimate over, you know, Dolia giving the double ultimates over. To be fair, there are so many to give over here. Likes of the Dharma, we just mentioned, being able to push people into the wall. Dune as well, being such a strong tank with that knock-up with the ultimate. But Long, I think, is one of the best heroes that you can give that double ultimate towards, because him turning into that dragon makes him untargetable, which is crazy strong if you think for someone like in the farm lane. Normally a farm lane hero, super squishy, can get caught out. Hey, if Long get caught out, you press one button on your phone and you're like, see you later. I'm off to space. I'm off to ride my dragon, and then can just jump back down. But the crazy thing is, he jumps back down. He gets him enhanced auto attacks as well, which makes him even stronger. So we've been seeing the kind of aggressive style used in Ultimate, but we've also seen the defensive style as well to be able to escape from this crazy crowd control that can come out.
Yeah, because I mean, some players that may have, because with this game being such fast-paced, Honor of Kings, you can make mistakes in an instant. So if you go and lock on, say for example, if you dive in, you're a Kaiser or a Charlotte onto the Lung, and then you've like, totally forgot about his ultimate, and then he goes up in the air, and then that's basically burnt out that huge engage that would have been potentially on the likes of something like a DRNG or even an Arlie that's maybe a little bit more slippery but able to still climb around. But there's no way that Dune or Kaiser or Charlotte can fly up into the sky, so the Loon pick is definitely a better playstyle for within the farm lane. Just like you say, having that escapability, but being able to use it for an aggressive playstyle, but also a defensive playstyle is also a really good thing.
No, 100%. I think it's super interesting to see. Hopefully we'll get back into the game very shortly. Thanks everyone for the patience. Yeah, hopefully we can get things sorted very quickly here. But yeah, Weibo Gaming, just to kind of recap with Weibo Gaming, 2-0 at the moment in this group. The first time we're seeing them on stream at the moment. Won 2 games off stream against AG Global and also Loops, whereas Bloom haven't had the best of start to this group so far. You know, they're 0-2 at the moment. If they lose this game as well, they're going to be 0-3 going into tomorrow. So Boom need to find a way to come back into this game because they're a little bit down at the moment, but hopefully we'll get things sorted soon.
Absolutely. We are going to be going into a break whilst we just figure out this technical difficulty, guys. So thanks again for bearing with us. We'll see you very soon.
Honor 200 series, the best portrait phone AI empowered. Studio level, AI portrait camera, 3 hardcore portrait modes. Color, vibrant and classic to capture portraits that truly stand out. AI empowered magic portal. Snapdragon 8S Gen 3 AI chipset. 5,200 milliampere per hour silicon carbon battery, 100 watt, Honor Supercharge. This is Honor 200 series.
You ever wondered how a Hollywood movie is shot? On a Sony. You review it on a Sony. And how do you make that sound epic? You record it on a Sony. Lunch break on a Sony. So why wouldn't you watch it on a Bravia by Sony?
Have you got what it takes to get to the top? It doesn't matter how high you climb. To reach the top, even the biggest champ needs a break. So you can recharge, dive back in, and dominate. Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Honor of Kings Invitational Mid-Season here in Saudi Arabia, Riyadh. We are unfortunately still in the pause at the moment between the Weibo Gaming and Boo Esports. My name is Stuart. Joining me again for the cast is Mr. Blam. Nice, beautiful Blam over there. Yeah, going back to the game itself, I think that, both these games, both these teams need to be, performing to their top standard in this competition. Obviously being in the same group as the KPL Dream Team as well. But we're going to be going into a quick video while we wait for the break, where we're going to learn from the pros himself on how to play Honor of Kings.
You want to be strong? Learn from the pro now. When you choose a long-range marksman to take down enemies in the distance, only to find the enemies constantly staying at the edge of your attack range. When you enthusiastically pick a high-burst mage, planning to crush the opponents, but the enemies keep sneaking outside your vision. The professional players have long been using the small tricks in their settings for smooth operations. Let's take a look at how the pros set up their game. Change the setting from fixed camera to camera shifts with skill direction. Your vision will move with the direction of your skills, allowing for a broader vision range. This not only enables more accurate targeting, but also gives you the upper hand to anticipate incoming enemies in advance. Come and try this practical secret that professional players are using. Play like a pro to dominate the enemy team effortlessly. Learn from the pro. Learn more from Honor of Kings Global Esports.
Well, there you go. Learning from the pros itself, learning how to land them skill shots, but sometimes I can't do. That's for sure. Sometimes skill shots can be a little bit difficult to land in the end. I feel like, the HoK ultimate, as a farm laner myself, sometimes that HoK ultimate is just, you feel like it's just moving, even though it just goes in a direct straight line. So sometimes extremely difficult to pick. But what's your chances on hitting skill shots? So yeah,
I'm convinced you're playing like this, Stu. Like, press the ultimate button. Let's go. Let's hope for the best.
I know we were playing some games as well. Obviously, you were playing the jungle. You're playing like Dune and things like that as well. I was playing the farm lane. What's your kind of favorite role at the moment when playing Honor of Kings?
To be honest, I do like the jungle. In solo queue, I would much rather go into the farm lane because I feel like with Honor of Kings being a little bit more different to what we're used to, it's a lot more fast-paced. So knowing that you can actually control what's going on, because I feel like a lot of people don't know how to macro play. So having that in my stride is much better than giving it to a random.
Hey, for sure. Speaking of farm laners, we're going to be taking a look at a quick video of Long, who's been an extremely powerful hero at the moment in this tournament.
The world descended into conflict during ancient times. The dragons perished from protecting the lives of the world. The last soldiers standing exhausted their life force to secure the final hope. Their hair turned gray overnight. They went into seclusion, and dragons became nothing but legends.
What does the dragon's home look like?
It was beautiful. There was always a nice breeze, and thunder roared during spring.
He was right. There's still dragons. You're so weak. What can you do?
Grandpa, what's this?
A horn. When you grow up, you'll know what it means.
We don't like horned monsters. You are a monster. You're not welcome here.
What's wrong? Something on your mind?
No, I just fell. I don't like the horns on my head anymore. Why am I different?
You don't have to live the same life as they do. You have your own fate.
Did we tell you not to come here?
I'm not a monster!
Pick him up! Get rid of him!
This is a tune from our homeland. When we hear it, it reminds us of where we come from and who we are, so we don't become lost.
Grandpa. Grandpa.
You must keep walking. The road ahead is long.
You hear that? Your ancestors are crying for you.
My child, we are not crying. Dragons don't cry. This is our war song.
Our war song. From this moment on, wherever I go, the dragon shall roar, for it will become their home. Grandpa, I will keep walking.
Welcome back to the Honor of Kings Invitational Midseason. I'm hearing and I'm seeing right now on the other screen that we are ready to go back into games. So here we go. Thanks so much for bearing with us to all the fans in the Amazon Arena, also the fans watching at home as well. We are getting back into the game here between Boom Esports and Weibo Gaming. Just to give an overview of this game at the moment, you can see Weibo Gaming currently 6 kills to 2 up, about a 3,000 goal lead at the moment. The eyes are all on JD in this game, Blam, on long with so many kills early on.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a marksman with so much in his kit, and another kill in his stride as he just builds another item as well. So again, just going to be a bit more attack damage coming through for Lung in this game. Impressive. Was trying to get a little bit of an engage here in the mid lane, trying to pause and freeze the enemy's minions, but it looks like they're able to come through here. They're going to have enough potential to get the T1 in the mid lane. We are still waiting, but Jizzix is able to keep those minions off. But there we go. Conling manages to do the inevitable and take that T1 turret in the mid lane. But whilst all that's happening, Dharma is pushing that T2 into the clash lane, Stu.
Yeah, it looks like they're losing momentum in this game of Boom Esports. You're seeing that they're so worried at the moment about JD. We saw that burst damage potential that was able to go over to Lady Shen. The crazy burst damage that Long provides. Being able to build the extra crit items as well. There are kind of different builds that you can go with Long. You can kind of go for the burst build where you build items like Axe of Torment. You can try and go for a bit more attack speed like the Shadow Ripper. And also going for like a lot more crit. But either builds that you're able to go, just being able to combo your abilities together, combo the elements together is so important for this hero. And we saw that exact moment in the mid lane.
Yeah, we saw just before that Lung was able to get that Eternity Blade built up, and to me, that's probably like mid-itemization build for Lung. So going forward, he's just going to be sort of getting stronger, a lot more attack damage, a bit more crit. But there we go, Dharma taking a 2v1 in the bot lane there. So farm lane just being held up and defended by Dharma. So great plays by Guy Yu there. Kong Ling overstepped him, but if you're going to get anyone overstepping on the side of Weibo, it's going to be that Doom pick because he's able to soak so much damage. But there we are. Lung is up in the sky. He's going to use it as a defensive use this time around just to get back into that teammate safe territory. But their high ground turret in the clash lane, Stu, is looking mighty low.
Yeah, it only needs a few more auto attacks for that clash lane tower to go down. Mid lane tier 2 getting taken down as well. I have to say, incredible work there from Dharma down in the bot side of the map, being able to defend 1 versus 2, which allowed the rest of Weibo Gaming to group up together 4 versus 3, try and take down their tower. And looks like they're trying to get even more kills as well. Doom being able to use that axe to be able to get away to safety in the end. We've got a few more minutes, a few more seconds, I should say, until we get the Tyrants and Overlords upgraded to their powerful versions, as we see the old Tyrant disappearing and the Shadow Tyrant appearing in about 20 seconds time. I feel like for Weibo Gaming, they can try and take the Shadow Overlord, use our Shadow Vanguard to try and take down that Clash Lane tower that only needs 1 more auto attack left.
Yes, sirree, is going into that 10-second cooldown for the Shadow Tyrant. Already up with 1 Tyrant for themselves, and I believe that it was Boom Esports taking the Overlord. So already that 50-50 split within the jungle of those neutral objectives, but because they have such a pushed wave in that bot lane, they're able to take this free Tyrant. But it's looking like Boom Esports is wanting to prioritize the Overlord so they can try and reclaim some of that lost territory in those lanes, Stu, and they're able to get it, but now they have the Shadow Overlord. Lung is going to be packing so much more heat now going into this fantastic engage. Whoa, dude takes down the Ollie. Very slippery hero has been taken down, and so is Kaiser. So again, one of their huge frontline picks is gone down, Stu, in that great engage from Weibo Gaming.
Super interesting there for Weibo Gaming. I was mentioning about the Shadow Overlord trying to push down the lane, but in the end, actually deciding going for the Shadow Tyrant. We see Dharma maybe getting caught out here, as so Esports knock up so much to cow control. One taken down though from Miggy, gonna try and go for another, but not going to in the end. But as I was saying, instead of going for the Shadow Overlord, they wanted to try and force a team fight. They went for the Shadow Tyrant that gets the extra damage. They wanted to force a team fight. They knew that if they win one more team fight, they could finish this game. So really interesting strategy there from Weibo Gaming. It worked out for them. They were able to get a few kills, but at the moment they still haven't taken any high ground towers. So Boom Esports still have a slim chance in this game to try and come back.
Yeah, I think once one of those high ground turrets do go down, unfortunately for Boom, they just got baited there by the High Nose ultimate, recalling back to a save point. So again, yes, it does take it off cooldown, but the cooldown's not that much on High Nose ultimate. But I feel like what Weibo did there in the Boom Esports jungle was a little bit of an overstep. I think it might have been just a little bit of a misplay there, because they had looked very clean when they had that team fight up into the Clash lane, looing down into the farm lane, looking to try and clear up that T2 from the side of Boom Esports, which would then mean that they are pretty much backs against the wall as soon as that T2 falls, because they then only have the high ground turrets.
For sure, we're going to be waiting and see here. Long going down into the bot side now, just waiting for the minions to crash underneath the tower, just allowing you to get 2 minion waves pushed in. You got the mid lane wave pushing in, you got the bot lane pushing in. You can see the rotations at the moment for Weibo Gaming, being able to get 2 sources of minions pushing in the top lane, the bot lane. Now you can see Dharma up into the top side as well, being able to push in that wave. So Boom Esports are going to have to defend from all entries into their base, which I'm not too sure they are able to do, and they need to make sure that they're just on their last legs at the moment. They need to do everything they can to try and stop this high ground tower from going down, but Charlotte can only do so much. That's going to be a walk up there for Dune. The first high ground tower is going to be taken down, and then the mid lane is going to be next in the cards here to be able to do that. So we'll have to wait and see there. But first high ground tower going down there for Weibo Gaming, really, really huge. That's exactly what they wanted to try and take down. You have them super minions now pushing into that lane to be able to get that advantage.
Yeah, we saw Dune actually just walk up to the high ground turret in the Clash Trainers. Basic attack.
One auto, that's all needed.
Bat, done. And it was gone. And yes, that means that their crystal is wide open. But once again, we just have a small technical break here between Weibo Gaming and Boom Esports right now. But so far, it's been a fantastic game for Weibo, but I feel like there has been some overstepping.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think they have a lot of confidence, Weibo Gaming. I think with them being able to win the first 2 games, we were talking about this group, how it's all about, likes of Weibo Gaming, Loops, could be 2 of the teams that can maybe go into that top 4, but with Weibo Gaming already beating Loops already earlier today, again, if they're able to close out this game, I think they've played incredibly well so far, been able to win the 2 games in our B stream, but also have looked pretty dominant in this game. Like I said, maybe a few oversteps here and there, but this is a team that we don't really know too much about. As we mentioned, this is the first time we've really seen them except for the last chance qualifier, so it's super exciting to see. But why we have this technical pause as well, another great thing that you can do, and for everyone at home as well, even if you're in the crowd, you can go onto the HoK Camp, as mentioned at the start of the day. If you just search HoK Camp, you can actually see some stats from this tournament as well. So you can see stats from the players, from the heroes that are being played as well. You can also learn about all the heroes as well. So if there's a new hero that you wanted to learn that you've seen the pro players game, you can just search the HoK Camp on the browser, and you'll be able to find it. But Lady Shen at the moment is actually the most picked hero in this tournament. This is both a Stream A and Stream B, which for me is a little bit surprising. We did get a little bit of nerf to Lady Shen, but we also got nerf to Princess Frost as well. So it seems like both these mid laners, I think in mid lane in general, is still very high priority for these mages compared to the likes of the assassins.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go on to the coin flip argument and say I expected it, to be honest. But like you said, it's because of the nerf, then yeah, maybe. But with it being mid lane, if it was say for something like, I don't know, a farm lane hero that got nerfed to the ground or nerfed to a point where it's kind of like, maybe we won't pick it.
That's a fair point, yeah.
But the Lady Shen, as we know, most mid laners, when they go for mages, they aren't necessarily getting the priority gold anyway. It's either going up to the jungler or we see the farm lane rotate up into the mid lane first thing. So again, it's just because once she's got those 3 skills, she's pretty much got her utility there for team fights, for freezing herself. She's literally got a Splendor in her pocket. She doesn't need to build Splendor. So I think it's no surprise.
So we're just waiting for a few minutes here. We're just getting a phone swapped out as we are playing mobile games over here. But we're going to toss it to another video where we're going to learn from the pros about Honor of Kings.
This activates extra basic attack buttons for minions and towers. Turn on Show Enemy Avatars to accurately select the enemy's avatar for the kill, and better assess vision exposure. Give it a try and play as smoothly as a pro, easily crushing the enemy faction. Learn from the pro. Learn more from Honor of Kings Global Esports.
Back here, we shouldn't be too much longer now. As mentioned, we're just swapping out our phone. That tower and minion button, it's pretty important, I would say. I feel like everyone should definitely be turning on that feature, you know, being able to swap your auto attacks instead of just using the normal attack button in Honor of Kings. You can swap that to just attacking minions, just attacking the towers, which means you can kind of prioritize for your auto attacking, which I think is super important in a MOBA and a game like Honor of Kings.
It's a huge skill to learn as well, because if you are just using that basic attack button and you end up going into a team fight, and yes, sometimes it does prioritize the heroes that are closest to you, but you could just end up whiffing and going for a minion, and it could have been a nice skill shot. The minion could be in a different direction. You auto click your ability, it goes in that direction rather towards the hero. So like you say, having those two things, it also means that you just change and know when to attack. If you're in tower and you want to focus a tower, you keep clicking the tower button so you don't try and get the aggro from the turret by attacking the enemy hero by accident. So yes, everyone should definitely do that. And if my ranked teammates aren't doing that, do it, because I feel like some of them don't do it.
Hey, you heard it here first. If you find Blam in your ranked games and you don't have it, then you're not going to be able to do that. But we're going to be taking a look at a high note cinema, which I'm super excited to see. As we're waiting for, as you can see, we're waiting for the phone to be swapped out.
Has anyone seen my cat?
Long time no see, hey no! Oh no!
I don't like harming the innocent.
This again? Did fate give you an answer?
Where the heck's my cat?
Welcome back here to the Honor of Kings Invitational Midseason. Stuart's still joined by Blam as we yap a little bit more whilst we're waiting for the technical pause to get sorted. But yeah, just swapping out phone, making sure that everything is all good. Of course, we want to make sure that these players have the devices that they require and have the everything that they have required. You don't want any sort of problems, any sort of lags or anything like that, because I've been in situations where in ranked games you get a sudden drop or something in any game, you know, then it can be a little bit difficult. So making sure that is the highest priority here for our players in this tournament.
I mean, they're making it looking very, very legit that it's a phone issue, but I believe it's because we're British. I think we just cursed the cast here, Stu. But whilst we do that, we're going to look a little bit at the format of the tournament. So those that didn't quite catch it at the beginning of the stream, it is the group stages right now being played in a best of one round robin. A top 4 per group stages, so A and B go to the knockout stage. which is where we start to see them playing those best of threes, up until the grand finals where we see them play those best of fives. So again, best of threes, best of fives, completely different to those best of ones.
Yeah, for sure. And you can see the pricing as well, you know, $3 million on the line here for all of these teams. The champions taking $1 million, all the way down as well to the 12th place, even so taking $100,000. So a lot on the line here. I think it's a super interesting format. It's a super interesting tournament in general. You know, being able to be able to play in 2 different groups, best of ones as well, which we haven't talked a little bit about. So that's why we're seeing some of these crazy strategies as well. But it seems like the phone has been swapped out. It seems like we're ready and raring to go back into the action here. Boom Esports against Weibo Gaming. We just saw Weibo Gaming taking down the high ground tower in the clash lane, and it doesn't look like the aggression is going to stop Lab.
No, it's definitely not going to stop there. I mean, even though the technical difficulties may have stopped the actual flow of the motion of the show, but the motion of this game has definitely not been affected, because we see such great lane priority right now on the side of Weibo Gaming, and it's definitely a much better paced match. We've seen that Boom have struggled so far in day one. They haven't quite yet taken a victory. So back onto your point previously before this game where we were on about that if Boom doesn't quite manage to win this one, it's going to be like the Mount Olympus of day 2 in the group stages for them. Yeah, exactly. It's going to be really, really hard for them as well. You know, they already played the game yesterday. They were able to win the game a few days ago, against RRQs. You know, just being in this tournament in general and just winning that series against RRQ was super important for them, but they need to try and make that next step. You know, you can't just win the SEA showdown match and being able to get that victory there and go into the tournament. You need to try and perform even better. And you can see at the moment that it looks like Boom Esports were trying to steal away the Overlord there, but they were like, oh wait, we have to be careful. Our base is in shambles at the moment. You can see the flash away from Impressive as well. He's on solo health. Dune finishing off the kill in the end. Heino going for ultimate back in the base with a Dharma into the back line, the ultimate into the wall in the end, and this just might be it in the end. Weibo Gaming ending day number 1 here of the group stage, 3-0, taking Boom down in this incredible matchup in the end. Yep, Dharma was at their door. There was like, oh, we need Overlord, and Dharma was just like, no.